Hello, hello, hello.
Hey everybody, guys and girls, how y'all doing?
Welcome back to a new episode of Soaps and Sass. I was going to say GH edition, but really, now that we've decided to no longer continue with Beyond the Gates, it's the only edition.
Auntie Sass is very disappointed that we're not doing the Beyond the Gates anymore.
I figured as much, but honestly...
Still watching, but
I don't
want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, we came to the decision and conclusion earlier this week that we're like, we have no energy to record a Beyond the Gates podcast anymore. The story is just not interesting enough for us to talk about it. So...
And it's a little too scandalous, so yeah, that's going to drop soon.
Right. As we did say in the beginning when we started, we're like, we will see if we continue or not, and we gave it, I think, a very fair shot. So
I think so. You never know. Maybe we'll pick it up again, or maybe we'll make a brief mention in here every so often.
But for the most part, we've decided to let Beyond the Gates go from our
repertoire.
But
hey,
we gotta get into General Hospital.
Tell the people who we is.
We are Baby Sass.
And I'm Mama Sass.
And guys, gals, my non-binary pals, we have some stuff to talk about this week because I would say Wednesday to Friday, those episodes were pretty hot.
Did you find so?
I found so compared to Monday and Tuesday. But then again, I barely remember Monday and Tuesday anyway.
Oh, okay, well, I'll remind you with a recap, but I found the week kind of meh.
Save for some exceptions. You know what exceptions I'm talking about. We literally just talked about it before the podcast. I would strip, but I don't want to get beat.
There's a lot to talk about, but the week was kind of meh for me. Okay, but let me tell you what happened. On Monday, tensions flare at Natalia's memorial. Alexis defends Sunny, Carly is heartbroken, and Anna confides in Felicia. Emma makes a confession. Oh, by the way, this is the week of July 14th to 18th. We probably should have said that off the hop.
Right.
On Tuesday, Sunny gets the upper hand with Sidwell. Drew issues a warning. Lucas is frantic. Willow gets bad news, and Sasha seeks out Nina. On Wednesday, Michael ponders a big decision. Trina has a heart-to-heart with Jocelyn, which I don't think we ever saw this week.
No,
that was the one piece
of question. that didn't happen.
That did not happen. She had a heart-to-heart with Kai, is what she did.
Well, technically, Kai had a heart-to-heart with Portia. We didn't see no heart-to-heart with Kai because that was last week.
Oh, was it last week? Okay.
Last week.
Okay, cool. Jason has a tough conversation. Curtis stonewalls Stella, and Drew lays out his plan. On Thursday, Nina had a face-to-face... Excuse me, not at all. Nina has to face the consequences of her actions. Dante and Lulu clash. Anna hits the nail on the head. Sunny is asked to make a sacrifice, and Jocelyn springs to action. And on Friday, Jason is thrown for a loop, not literally thrown. Portia is determined. Dante is surprised by what he sees. Sorry, he really was. That was funny.
He was.
Anna questions Carly, and Willow issues a plea. Where do you want to start?
Well, I definitely know the two things I do want to talk about, one of which ties into the two things we will save for last, in my opinion.
Okay.
Everything else is fair game. So I think the first thing I'm going to talk about is Dante, Lulu, and Dante's Shock and Discovery, because those are really, I find, totally unimportant to a degree.
Okay, well.
But yeah, so Dante and Lulu talk, and it's obviously about Brook Lynn and what she did to Rocco. Lulu is not happy with Dante because Dante basically has forgiven, well, not forgiven, but he's talked to Brook Lynn and he understands what happened, and she had no intention of showing Rocco the file, and that he believes she is sorry for what happened. And Lulu's just like, why are you giving her a pass with everything and yada yada? But and Lulu's like, but you know what the good side is, Brook Lynn now screwed up. Gio doesn't really want anything to do with her. So, you can take that in and try to get, or opening, I should say, not really in, but you should take that and use it to have a better relationship with Gio. And Dante tells her, like, yeah, Brook Lynn said the same thing, and I'm not going to do it. And Lulu's looked at him like, are you insane?
Well, it's a very interesting thing, because just in life, we expect people to behave as we do.
Yep.
So that's clearly obvious, right? It's totally what Lulu would do. Dante's like, that's not who I am. And she doesn't know what to do with it. It's also why she keeps vilifying Brook Lynn, because the behavior she's expecting or she's attributing to Brook Lynn is exactly what Lulu would do, and Brook Lynn's not that person. It's something we all do in life. I know I'm always confused when people do things, and it's like, well, why did I think they were going to act the way I would act or respond the way I would respond? It's just not, it's not realistic.
No, it's not. And I appreciate Dante for telling her, it's like, look, it's like, Brook Lynn made a mistake. She owns up to it. Yep. And she really regrets doing it. And I'm not going to take that mistake and use it against her or just to, further myself in my relationship with my child. That's not me. That's not who I am. That's why I'm not going to do it. And Lulu just doesn't get it. And yeah, so she's upset and decides to leave and runs into Sunny and basically tells him, like, look, you should sell the piers, deal with this situation because something's about to go down and it's not going to be good for you. So
it's definitely not good for my mother. So
no,
cut bait and run.
Right. On the other front involving Dante, the thing that he found that was shocking and surprising is Anna had called Dante in.
I don't know that we were finished with the Rocco story.
Well, that's the thing that ties into the last two things I want to talk about.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Which is why I didn't mention it.
Okay.
But yeah, so Anna sends Dante on an assignment to follow Vaughn, our very interesting member of the WSB who we know nothing about.
Don't wanna.
Not kind of, sort of, but not really. At least in my opinion.
Right.
So yeah, so Anna sent him on an assignment, and so he went to the airport because he's basically tailing Vaughn, and so they were watching him on the cameras. And then he sees him getting real close and cuddly with Jocelyn. And then Jocelyn left, and he's still watching Vaughn, and he's like, something's not right. And he calls Anna back later, after he's gotten all the intel he needs, and says, yeah, pretty sure Vaughn is WSB, and you'll never guess who's helping him. And Anna's like, oh, Jocelyn? Because Anna, earlier in that day, had a conversation with Carly, and Carly was giving her a lot more details than she realized. And Anna's like, thought as much, so I now have pretty good idea that Jocelyn is part of the WSB. And we're going to see that fall out because she's probably going to cuss Brennan out for getting Jocelyn involved. And since Brennan is dating Carly, cuss her out for getting his girlfriend's daughter involved, especially when Carly is very much protective of her children. So, now that Anna knows, I think that'll be a very interesting fallout.
I don't think there'll be fallout.
Well, Carly did say Jocelyn's happy and, as long as that's the case, I really don't care. But I think learning that her boyfriend basically inducted her child into the WSB, which is a very dangerous thing.
I don't think Carly's going to find out. Not yet.
Well, okay, yes, not yet, but what she does, I mean.
For sure. But I think you're right that Anna will go and confront Brennan about it. But Anna's been an agent. She's not going to reveal that information to Carly.
Well, no, I don't think she'll reveal. Unless it's just recently said she'll reveal it to Carly. I don't.
No, that's what I thought you were suggesting.
No. I think Carly will find out, and as I was saying, like, Anna's definitely gonna cuss out Brennan for getting Joss involved, and being that, and seeing as he's dating Carly, like, the fallout of that will be major because Carly.
I don't even think it's gonna be a cuss out.
Well, either way, they're gonna have a conversation. Yeah.
But, because as Felicia pointed out to Anna earlier this week when Anna was, putting the pieces together about Vaughn, Felicia was like, it's none of your business. The WSB doesn't have to tell you they're running an operation just because it's in your town. So for Anna to expect any kind of information, to expect to be aware that Jocelyn's now WSB, I think that's very silly. I think like I said, I think she'll make a noise about it with Brennan, but I don't think it's really going to go anywhere after that. She may have a sit down with Joss directly to explain to her what all's involved.
Probably,
but
honestly, I think. I wouldn't be surprised if Anna goes to Brennan's office to have a conversation. Mm-hmm. And while she's there, Joss walks in, or Joss and Vaughn are having a conversation when Brennan and Anna walks in. Either way,
that would be funny.
They're gonna run into each other while one of them is talking to Brennan.
What happened to Claudette?
We never saw her again after
the fiasco in Prague or wherever.
Yeah.
They were? Okay. I mean, that's what I thought, and I don't really need to see her again. But I was just like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I said Claudette, but it's Colette. Is her name, right?
Yeah, Claudette. But thing is, it's like she was very much a side character. Mm-hmm. And as we know, we need to make room for very other important characters. So,
indeed.
Anything else you want to talk about? Aside from the last two things, which we'll not talk about to the end. I'm very serious on that one.
No, it's fine. I was just thinking more about the Joss thing. I did think she was dirty for sicking Danny on the lady.
Oh,
poor Danny was like looking for. It was a little bit of comedy for me, for comedy moment of the week.
No, that's fair.
Where Danny was going back and forth trying to do everything he could to get tips from this woman that Joss was watching. And then, like, again,
he wasn't subtle at the
chill.
end.
Exactly, no subtlety.
He wasn't subtle. It's like, you
hey,
were
you're
right.
right. She's a great tipper.
It's like,
after she gave him $50, I was like, well,
Stanny.
You know, way to put him on your trail. I don't know if this is one of the other two things you want to talk about, but the whole funeral. Memorial?
No, you can go for that.
Okay, so the beginning of the week is supposed to be Natalia's memorial, which we haven't actually seen play out as yet.
Nope.
And maybe it's not going to happen because Sonny grabbed Marco. Sonny grabbed Marco as when Marco was getting ready to go to the memorial. Marco was supposed to pick up Lucas at the hospital and did not respond to any of Lucas's texts. So Lucas is completely
beside himself.
Thank you. Beside himself. He is concerned. Goes and finds Carly. They go to the hotel. There's no sign of Marco. In the meantime, Sonny has gone over to the church where he confronts Sidwell and lets him know, hey, by the way, your son isn't coming. I have him. You messed up. If you want your son back, you need to fix this.
Right. Which I find interesting because I know we talked about this last week, and I was saying how it's like, and even Carly told Sonny this, but it's like, it's so stupid because he's like, we don't mess with other people's children, and if you do, it's like, all bets are off.
Yep.
But he's like, we don't mess with each other's children. Carly's like, if you retaliate against Sidwell and use Marco, what's to say he won't retaliate and use one of our kids, and all of that. And also, we all know when it comes to mafia stuff, it's like, obviously they're going to go after your kids because that's your weak spot, or one of them. But it's like, even Sidwell said, it's like, why, like, Marco saved your child's life, like, why are you going after Marco? Even Lucas said it. And it's like, Sonny, you just said we don't go after the children, but if you go after my children, your children are off limits. It's like, how about we just don't go after the children?
Listen.
Let's leave it at that.
Sidwell miscalculated badly.
I'm like, you want to go after the wife? Go after the wife. Don't go after the next generation.
Well,
I find it so stupid.
Except, here's the thing. I mean, not that I'm, you know what, I don't want this to sound like I'm justifying Sonny's behavior, because I don't care for Sonny. He's never been one of my favorite characters.
Right.
But Marco's a grown man. It's not like he's a child.
Right? Same with Christina. Though, in Christina's case, she acts more like a child than a grown woman.
Well, this is it, a little bit. And with Christina, not that Sonny has any way of knowing, or if Sonny would maybe listen, he would understand that was accidental.
Right.
Because Christina was not supposed to be working. So it's not like Sidwell was sitting there waiting for Christina to be in the building.
Right, and as I said last time, it's like, with Christina being like, oh my god, someone was trying to kill me. It's like, but how do you know someone was trying to kill you? Again, your restaurant could have just been the target and not you. It's like,
they didn't really make anything of that, so
no,
I'm not going to follow that particular path. But I found it very interesting. So Lucas shows up at the church again, looking for Marco. He's not there. He sees Jason. He's begging and pleading with Jason, and made a very compelling argument. Like, Jason, you know better, and you have a son, and rah rah rah. And he's like, just talk to Sonny. Just like, you gotta let Marco go. And this is all while Sonny's in the church talking to Sidwell. Sonny comes out, and then Lucas again makes his argument, makes a really, really great plea, and he's like, "Listen, I can't help you,
but you do what you need to do."
Absolutely.
I will say though, Lucas being like, I'll or like, really,
I'll go to the cops and I'll tell them everything that I know.
It's like, again, I like how Sonny's like, you do what you need to do.
Right, because Lucas revealed that he knew about the Natalia's plan to escape.
Right.
Yeah.
But just like in the desperate, like, it's really, for me, the way Lucas was like, he was so desperate to get Marco back, and just the tone of voice he was using to be like, if you don't, I'll, and it's just like, Lucas, I get you're worried. I get you're like, you really want Marco to be okay. But it's very clear by how you're saying this is like, you'll say what you need to.
That's right. He did a great job of portraying his desperation. And Sonny's like, they already know all that.
Yep.
So, exactly as you said, you go do what you need to do, tell them what you need to tell them. And then Sonny left. But what I really found interesting, I don't know if I have to go so far as I enjoyed. I certainly enjoyed the performance that Van, the actor that plays Lucas, gave. He went in and he was talking to Sidwell. And Sidwell's trying to flip the script and going, you know what? You are practically family to Sonny, so you can go get Marco back. And Lucas is like,
The
what
hell
are
I will.
you talking about?
The hell I can.
This is your bad behavior. So I told you what you need to do. Do it. Oh, I can't. Lucas is like, listen, buddy, pull your head out of your behind. Mm-hmm. Go get your kid back.
And I find it interesting because a few things. One, he's like, Sidwell said to Lucas is like, you need to plead harder with Sonny to get my son back. And I'm like, didn't you just not, like, one, be like to Sonny's like, this is my son, what are you doing, yada yada. Mm-hmm. Two, weren't you just saying to, you know, Natalia's photo and, like, whatever, he's like, I will do everything in my power to protect Marco and look after him. And also, it's like, from what I've seen, the entire time you've been on the show and been around Marco, it's like you are very, very protective. You love your son. You will do anything for him. So why you're being like, Lucas, you need to go and try and get my son help? It's like, how about you stand on your 10 toes, man up, and do what you need to do to get your son back, rather than asking other people. Because it's like, you put yourself in the situation. You put Marco in the situation. Granted, unknowingly and unintentionally, mm-hmm. but you did it. Now you need to own it and do what you need to do to get him back.
Absolutely.
Because it's very clear that Sidwell is one of those parents who will kill for their children. And he's not acting like it right now in that moment where he's talking with Lucas.
Well, and this was what I found so strange, because I think before Lucas came in the room, Sidwell fully intended to figure out a plan, not necessarily comply with Sonny, but figure out a plan to get his son back, and how quickly it flipped to then try to put the responsibility on Lucas mm-hmm. when Lucas came in the room, because I don't think it was an option he had considered until he saw Lucas, and it's like, sir, handle your business.
Right?
This is nobody else's business.
Nope.
You just want somebody else to blame when things go sideways.
Right. It's like Lucas cares for Marco. It's very clear. But he in no way, aside from being family to Sonny, and that's really more extended because they used to be brothers-in-law, it's like, he doesn't really have a connection to Sonny other than through Carly and through Wiley. That's pretty much it.
Yep.
So, I don't know what you think he's going to do. Anything else? Oh, actually, I know we don't usually like talking about Portia, but let's talk about Portia for a minute, because Portia in Friday's episode was actually Fridays and whatever other day it was interesting, because so after Kai had his little thing with Trina and Curtis, he went over to Portia to be like, I'm sorry, but is there any way, you can talk to Trina? And Portia's like, no, you made your bed, lie in it. It's like, Trina has gone through enough, and you, like, I will be forever grateful to you because you brought that spark back into her eye, but I will also never forgive you because you now are the one who took it mm-hmm. by betraying her trust and everything like that. So, I'm sorry, Kai, but no.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. But
then,
it's like, if that was Kai's exit scene, okay.
Right. Which is likely not from what we read of next week.
I know.
But then it got even more interesting because Drew walked in without knocking again, so he just barges in and is like, Portia, and sees Kai, and it's like, oh, okay. Kai ends up leaving. Drew kind of questions like what that was about and what she did to Kai and whatever, and it's like, oh no, it's not what I did to him, it's what he did to Trina by telling you about mm-hmm. everything with Curtis. And anyway, so Drew basically says to Portia, I need you to do this being he needs Portia to tamper with Michael's test results, because Michael is not getting treatment at GH for his
follow-up treatment.
Yeah, his follow-up treatment. So he wants Portia to manipulate his results like he did with Heather Weber, but this time to make it seem like he now has an opiate addiction because of the pain meds and yada yada. And Portia's like, oh no, I will not do that. And Drew's like, oh well, you might want to think about that before you lose all of this, being her career, her family, mm-hmm. everything. And then Drew leaves, and that's basically when Portia crashes out, or basically just has not a mental breakdown, but she basically loses her mind and starts smashing some things.
Yeah, like, just a temper tantrum.
Yes. And in the end, she comes to the conclusion that she's going to turn herself in and go to the medical board at GH and be like, confess about what she did with Heather Weber. And then, you know, the medical committee possibly losing her license and possibly going to jail and all of that. And Curtis is like, I hear you. I see you. I wouldn't do that. Think about it. Make sure that this is your last and only option before you go and do that, because you might end up losing everything. She's like, I am at my wit's end. I'm drowning and I'm done. I am not going to let Drew Kane take the woman who I was and turn me into someone who I'm not. I am not going to, you know, I took an oath not to harm my patients, and I don't intend to go down that road. So, you know, I'm basically going to stand on business and turn myself in if needed. And I'm like, I might not like Portia, and I'm like, the fact that it took her this long to get to this point, but I'm like, hey, if the fact that you don't want to sabotage Michael and make him lose his kids, let that be the catalyst, so be it. But I will say, I am proud of Portia for standing on her business, being like, I'm turning myself in. I don't care what I lose, but I will not have my daughter thinking I am a coward and, you know, all of this and all that. I want her to know I am a strong woman who stands by my core beliefs, and that is I will not harm people. I am a doctor first, you know, mother first, doctor second kind of thing. And, you know, hold my ground, not giving to Drew's demands. I'm like, all right, good on you, woman.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said. I have zero use for Portia, which is terrible because I liked her at first. I don't like what they've made her. Like Willow, I think she needs mental help. I think she's still struggling with the trauma.
I don't know what trauma that may be, but okay.
Well,
you mean when she was held at gunpoint?
When she was held at gunpoint by Cyrus. Yep. A little bit the situation with Curtis finding out about Trina being his kid. Yeah, like she needs mental help as well. So there's that. Yeah, there's a little bit of hypocrisy, but at some point, that's the thing, right? Why do you let the blackmailer have so much power over you for so long? It's such an easy thing. Just go and confess. The fallout of your confession, one in Portia's case, is actually kind of brutal. Big. But you know, what often seems to be the case where people are blackmailing folks. I say often because, you know, I know so many people who have been blackmailed.
Oh, you're right.
So just, you know, no, let's be fair. This is my opinion. It's like, just confess whatever it is. Go and tell whoever it is what happened that you're being blackmailed about, and take the power away. It does not make sense. In this case, she didn't kill anybody.
No, and in this case, also, it's like, compared to where you would be breaking, you know, granted, she did technically break a law by, you know.
Yes.
But it's what she did with Heather's results did not harm her or anyone else in any way, save for Heather. And even then, it's like she didn't harm Heather physically. All she did was change a result to keep her where she was, which was in prison. It's not like... And
then she ended up getting out.
Right.
What was that face?
We're not going to talk about it on the podcast.
Okay.
But...
Okay.
Yeah, compared to if she were to change the results of Michael's tests, it would affect Michael.
Yeah.
Again, not physically, but it would affect Michael because he'd be possibly losing his children. It would, she'd end up putting them in a at this I can't even say dangerous situation because it's not like they would be in any danger, not physically anyway. But you know, still, it's like you don't want to put the children in a toxic environment, which is where they would end up going. If she ended up doing what she was ending up doing, what Drew asked her to do. So, and what I also like is she said to Drew, I'm not going to help you take someone's children away from them for your own petty little game.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. But let's move off of that because you don't want to go into other topics. And I want to switch a little bit to a sideline story, which was Sasha moving.
Right, which I was also thinking, but there was a point that happened earlier in the week, which we were not expecting, which was when Michael and Sasha went to the hospital for Daisy's, like, checkup and her shots, and Willow deciding to just kind of want to talk to Michael, but also seeing Daisy, and then discovering, you know, they were going on a trip, and Willow kind of freaked out thinking that Michael was going to take the kids with them.
So, can I just jump in? toot sweet.
Yes.
With what had me hot.
Yes.
Deanna, what the tail?
Oh yeah, how you say that out loud?
What? Yes, exactly. Because Willow had no idea why they were there. It was, as far as, it was just a routine checkup. It's a newborn. You have to have certain checkups fairly early on.
To
and
say
then
it's
Deanna
like, you know,
coming out,
out of
oh,
international.
hey, little girl, you're going on international travel, whatever. Does the little girl know what you're saying? Why are you talking people business?
Right. If you want,
maybe Willow would have found out because she's a nurse.
Right. That, or as we done know, her mom, which again we'll talk about later. But yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
I don't blame you on that one. But the shocking reveal that we found out, so Willow goes to Michael to plead about seeing the kids, and then Michael's like, I asked you not to do it. You hurt Wiley in doing so. So you know what? I called Diane and told her to inform the courts of what you did. And guess what? Our visitation hearing has now been pushed back to October. And let me just say, we were not expecting that.
No, not expecting that.
No, but Michael did say, it's like, I told you what I was going to do. And I did it. And Willow's like, but Michael, how could you do this? And no. It's like, he just said, Willow, he asked you to leave, or he would do what needs to be done. You didn't leave, and it made Wiley even more upset, and just asking more questions, and it hurt Wiley. And so you know what? He did what he said he was going to do. And
she
so
was
now,
shocked that Michael was a man of his word.
Right? So now, instead of having to wait a few weeks, you got to wait 3 months. Guess you're going to learn from your consequence, from your choices.
Yeah, absolutely. Crazy. But I'm going back to Deanna.
No,
because
please.
I didn't vent my spleen.
No, go ahead. I just want to mention that because it was very much like, what the?
It really was. You know, because you got Willow now panicking that Michael's taking her kids out of town or what have you. But never mind that. Like, can you imagine, really and truly, you sitting in the doctor's waiting room, and then the nurse comes to, you know, to escort you into the back, and it's like, hey, baby Sass, or hey, mama Sass, you know, we're gonna take you back and get a look at your scans, see what more HIV shots you need, or whatever it is,
in front of everybody
in the room. You know, we're gonna check your, forgive my indelicacy, your yeast infection, make sure that it's clearing up. Like, why are you talking?
I'm like, in that moment, you technically broke HIPAA.
I mean,
you did, because you told private patient information to people who did not need to know said private personal information.
Absolutely. You know,
without the patient's permission at that.
Well, this is it. You know, we see this kind of thing also in the workplace, because as we mentioned in the last podcast, I had a bit of a medical issue, so I was off work for a few days. Obviously, I had to let my boss know what was going on.
Oh, no.
He didn't. My boss did not. But I'm just saying, like, I hear this all the time where I'm in work meetings, and it's like, oh, how did things go at the hospital with your blah, 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 blah. Why is that a question for public consumption? What? You couldn't wait till you and I were
in a private meeting?
Yeah.
Which then I can ask you, how do you know about such thing?
Exactly. What my boss did do to me the other day was I had booked some time off, and I had done it just before a team meeting. So we're in a team meeting. We are not the only people in the room as we're waiting for others to join the virtual meeting. He's like, oh, you just booked some vacation. Are you going anywhere interesting? The vacation is not for another 3 months that I booked. But the other person on the call is like, wait, what? I'm not aware that she's taking vacation. Not that she needed to be, but whatevs.
Like I just booked it. Of course you didn't know. And why would I tell you?
And if I were going anywhere, is it your business?
No.
Not really. I know you're trying to make conversation, but mind your business.
I'm like, for example, I know this, like, yesterday after work, one of my coworkers was asking us, like, what our plans for the weekends were and everything. And so we were each telling, and I was like, oh yeah, my hope is to do this, whatever. And they're like, okay, cool. And then one of them's like, what do you mean? And so I explained, and I was like, oh, okay. But it's like, I didn't have to, like, explain it, because I'm like, they were new, so they didn't know what the situation was compared to everyone else. And it's like,
yeah. I mean, certainly my last job I was working there for 29 years, and I'd been in a particular team for, I don't know, 18, and working with this is a very long story for no reason. But anyway,
still got time.
One of my colleagues I'd worked with for about 2 or 3 years, and when I left the company, I was saying something about, oh, my kids and my husband, whatever. We had worked together for 2-3 years. This person had no idea I had children or was married. That's how I like it. It's not your business.
I was gonna say this is not the person who I think it is it?
Doesn't really matter.
Anyway.
Many of the people I worked with, most of my teammates, very few knew about my family situation.
Which is
It
fair.
has nothing to do with my day-to-day job.
No, I'm like, that's fair. It's not like that one person you worked with who you're still in contact with today, I don't know if I would call you good friends, but you're definitely friends. And it's like, they know. It's like,
sure.
It's like, yeah, they know I'm married, they know I had kids, They know
my birthday is, know where I live, all kinds of things, know who my mother is.
Yeah, they know a little bit more of your life compared to the rest of your coworkers. And it's like, yeah, because I told them I like them, I don't care if they know, compared to the rest of you who is like, you're my colleagues, and that's it.
What'd you do on the weekend? I didn't come to work.
I lived my life.
What do you need to know? I bought some groceries. I prepared for Monday.
Basically.
Movie skin. Okay.
Right,
Sorry.
so Sasha.
That went on, yes. I didn't really have a whole lot to say about Sasha.
No, that's fair. But anyway, so Sasha went exactly where I thought she was going to go.
Which is you better than me. I had no idea where she was going.
Right. I didn't know where she was going to go either. But I had said, and I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I definitely said this to you.
Yeah, you did.
That's like, oh, if people ask where Sasha's going, because obviously no one should know, and even I was listening back to last week's podcast, how we were saying it's like, you don't know who's targeting Daisy, so don't tell nobody, keep your mouth shut. But it goes around telling everybody.
How many goodbyes do you need to say? Like, pick up your bag and gone.
Right. But anyway.
Oh, mercy.
Like, I'm like, your immediate family, like Tracy, Ned, Olivia, fine. They live in your house. They're going to question where's Sasha and Daisy. No worries about that. Everyone else, like, you telling Alexis or Nina or whoever's like, no, they don't need to know.
They do not.
Anyway, so I was saying how nobody's supposed to know where they're going. So if anyone asks, just say she went to go visit Robert and Holly. And next thing you know, she's off with Robert and Holly.
Which I think was very plausible.
Right.
But it's to your point, I think part of the reason that she said goodbye to all those people is because they mistakenly thought the threat was coming from Sunny's enemies.
Right.
Nobody that she's talking to is going to be one of Sunny's enemies.
Nope.
Or associated with Sunny's enemies.
Nope.
And it was just like... So can we jump to the last part now?
Not yet. Not just yet, because I realized that what I found interesting is that Michael was telling Sunny and Carly that Daisy and Sasha were leaving.
Yes.
But I love how Michael's like, I'm going to lose my daughter. And they immediately think Amelia, which also makes sense. It's like, why would you think Daisy of anything? Really? But it's like, no, I'm referring to my other daughter. And they're like, but why would she leave? It's like, we can get her somewhere safe, and you know, I can send some of my men. It's like, Sunny, I don't trust your men because they can't do jack. They let Natalia get through to the christening. Like, they lost her. Like, no, Sunny, your men, no. Unless it's Max or Milo or Jason, you're not you're not giving Sasha any of your security because your security ain't good. I don't know why they trust your security. Your security can't do jack.
Sorry, we need to go back to the beginning of the week that you mentioned Sunny's security. But, so this we put a pin in that. Remember that I said that?
Yep.
Sticking with the Michael telling Carly. Yeah, that, for me, that's the, who called for that or what'd you do that for? Because Michael was really melodramatic with it. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna lose my daughter. And telling everybody, and the tears in his eye. Great job acting-wise to Rory Gibson. I love that, the emotion behind it. But really, that was much.
I agreed. He even had tears in his eyes when he told Tracy.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
No, but I will say this.
He said to Tracy, I'm going to lose my daughter. He said to Sunny and Carly, I'm going to lose my daughter.
Right.
He said to Jason, I'm going to lose my daughter.
Right. But
What is that?
Right. But I can understand why he's saying that because it's like, he's not going to be there to see her grow up and do all the first and all of that compared. So I can kind of understand that. He's losing her in a way that it's like, I won't be there for her compared to, you know, she's dying, so I'm losing her or whatever. It's not in the same. He's losing her in a different way than what he would expect.
He is. But we've already seen Sasha's not going to cut him completely out of the loop.
I'm like, she's definitely going to right.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, she's going to FaceTime you. She's going to tell Daisy who you are.
Absolutely.
You're going to know your child, just not in the way that you want.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought that was much.
Right.
Okay, so now...
Sorry, just very quickly. I will say into the Rory and his emotional stuff, I'm like, he does those emotional scenes really well.
Yeah.
Like, every time he cries, it's like, ugh, a man who shows his emotions. Because, like,
oh boy.
No. Because, honestly, I feel like with Chad wouldn't have done...
Get you a fan? You're
probably.
looking a little warm there.
I was just saying, with Chad, the scenes were different. They didn't have the same feeling to them when Chad got emotional as Michael. This one, I'm like, Rory, don't cry.
Yeah,
don't
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Will be fine. Like, my heart goes out to him. I know it's like a scene and he's not actually, but it's just like, Rory.
Yeah, no, I get you.
So I'm like, I've been saying this from time, but I really like Rory. I'm sorry, Chad. I don't want you to come back.
But this is it. And
come back as somebody else, but don't come back as Michael.
We're seeing this all over the fan boards. This has been... Roy Gibson has been the easiest, smoothest recast we have seen on General Hospital in a long time. From the moment he stepped on the canvas, the fans have loved him, totally accepted him, and it's kind of like, no shade to Chad, but
that's what I keep saying.
You chose to leave,
right? That's why
sucks to be you.
That is why I keep saying, I'm like, Chad, I love you, but don't come back as Michael. It's like, I'm sorry. Exactly. It's like, you did a great job as Michael for all those years. Just, this is different. It hits different. It's portrayed differently. And I'm like, if you want to come back
as a twin.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know how that's going to work. That'd be some real revisionist history.
No, right.
Because I'm pretty sure Carly was awake when the baby was born. But
you know.
I'm really sorry, Chad.
But hey,
sorry.
He's like, you could come back as a twin because, as we know.
Come back as Morgan.
No, because we do have Morgan, and
I know.
He already came back once. It'd be weird to be like, oh, this is Michael, but now he's Morgan.
I'm just saying, but no. Really sorry. I don't think that role is yours anymore.
No, it is not. So.
Kel Damage.
Yes.
Okay.
But now, yes, you may.
Let me go back to Marco and his kidnapping, because this is another comedy moment of the week, or I don't even know where I want to put this. But when
the comedy could make it make sense.
No, it's more. I think it was more comedy than anything, because the beginning of the week, Marco has been grabbed. He's in the room.
Wherever he is.
You were talking about Sonny's inept security guards.
Yep.
Jason says to the guard about 8 times, and you and I both commented on this. Mm-hmm. Whatever you do, don't let him out.
Don't let him out. Don't talk to him. Don't open the door. Don't let him out. If anything happens, you got a bunch of the guards. Call them before you call me. But don't open the door.
And so we sat here and we're like, he's gonna open the door. And then we were like, what's gonna happen? So, gotta give kudos to General Hospital. They wrote this scene well. So, Marco starts with this, oh, I'm diabetic. I need something to eat. My blood sugar is low. I've been here for too many hours and without food for too long. And it's my mother's memorial, but all the diabetes is getting me. I'm getting the sugars. Help me.
I like how the guy grabs his bag of chips to give to Marco, and I'm like, how about the juice? Like, yeah, doctors and EMTs, even like when I was doing my first aid training a few weeks ago, they're like, if someone has diabetes and their blood sugar is low, give them a juice or a soda. That is the fastest way to raise their blood sugar, because your body's going to absorb it a lot faster compared to if you eat something.
Yep.
So the fact that he grabbed a bag of chips just is like,
oh my mercy.
Not that it mattered, but if he really was diabetic, he'd be like,
right?
Idiot.
You bringing me salt? So, but then, the guard puts his mask on first.
Yeah, he had to put that balaclava on.
Before he goes in the room.
Not baklava. Balaclava, for those who get confused.
Listen, baklava would have been a good thing to carry with him, because if he's got diabetes.
No, but I'm just saying, because people get confused.
I know. And
one's a savory dessert, the other's a mask.
So Marco's in the room, but Marco is not secured. There's a heavy excuse me, a heavy chair in the room. So my man's coming in with a bag of chips, and Marco is there with the chair. The door opens. You see Marco drop that chair on somebody, or so it looks. Then when we come back to the scene,
end of the episode,
we come back to the scene, and my guard is sitting out there, and Jason's like, "Any problem?" Nah, not really. I knew how to handle it. And then you pan inside, and Marco's all tied up, and it's like, Marco! Oh, boo.
I'm like, did your father teach you nothing?
Right, because I actually was rooting for Marco to get out.
I was the entire time that Lucas was confronting Sonny at the church, I was waiting for Marco to run in and be like,
me too.
Dad, I'm here. I'm fine.
Sonny grabbed me.
That, or next we pan to the police department, and there's Marco sitting in a chair with a blanket over his shoulders, like.
Yeah, but it didn't work out that way.
No.
But that was entertaining. That was momentarily entertaining. Okay.
Now we can go to the last few things.
Please.
The last two things. Okay. So, last week, it was pretty much the aftermath / continuation of Rocco trying to learn more about Britt. And so, in doing so, he decided to email Liesl Obrecht. This week, we were beautifully and graciously gifted her presents at whatever coffee shop is
that Surfside, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. And you knew that he was meeting with Obrecht because my man put on a whole dress shirt and nice pants,
dressed.
Did his hair a little bit, and while of course it was awkward because he's like, I don't know who this woman is, but I want to learn about her. And the woman who carried me for 9 months and raised me for 7, it was awkward, but it was just so sweet because he's like, I'd like to get to know about Britt and like a little bit about you. And Obrecht's like the same because, you know, for a time I was your grandmother.
Yep.
And she was even telling her, I was like, you know, I remember when Britt fed you your first solid food, avocados, ended up everywhere but your mouth. And she's like, do you still like avocados? He's like, kinda. Like,
yeah.
He was really I wouldn't say he was uncomfortable, but he was like
a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
But still.
I think my comedy moment was Britt asking, it's like, so how's school going? What's
Not
your favorite?
Britt.
Sorry, Obrecht. It's like, how's school going? Do you have any college choices? Is there anything you're interested for college and whatever?
I'm like, started the bullet interview.
Right?
It's like, breathe and let him answer.
I'm like, Obrecht, calm down. He's still in high school. Like,
and then his phone rang and interrupted that barrage, or got a message or whatever it was.
No, he was waiting for a message, and it was kind of like, he kept looking at his phone, and he did apologize. He's like, I'm so sorry, I'm waiting on a text. And she's
very good home trading on that one.
Right? And she took that kind of as a, oh, I should go kind of thing, and I was like, it's very clear he didn't mean it, like, to make her leave by just saying that, but I think she's like, you know what, let's give it some time, not push him or anything, so she's like, you know what, I will take the initiative and, you know, step aside and let you get
be sensitive to his, you know, emotional state
and he's like, you know what, okay, because he has to get to work, and was saying how he works at the Metrocourt pool, so if anything, Obrecht will see him there if she's staying there, which I think she will be. And yeah, it was like, she's like, I would really like to, like, see you again and have another chat, and they're both like, yeah, me too. And it was awkward for a moment because I was kind of expecting a hug, or at least you were. I was like, don't call her grandma. Because it really felt like he was gonna say something along those lines, so I'm glad he didn't.
It was very an awkward, like, how do we say goodbye type of thing,
right?
That was clear.
And so it was kind of just like walked away and kind of thing, which I think is a little bit fair. Like, obviously there's no hard feelings on that. It was just like, this is kind of awkward, so I'm just gonna give you kind of a curt nod and acknowledgement and walk out.
Yeah, but I also liked that, you know, Rocco was trying to be, again, good home training, trying to be sensitive in what he said to her because he recognizes this is her daughter. He doesn't want to vilify her, but he wants to acknowledge also or find out, you know, the things I've heard, are they true? And I like Obrecht where she was like, listen, my daughter was a mess. There's no two ways about it. Yes, she's my daughter. I love her. But I'm also very clear on who she was. Right,
as she kind of mentioned again to Nina. It's like, which we'll get to that. But yeah, because Rocco had even said, like, you know, I heard some things from my mom. I heard some things from Jason. You know, so I have both sides of who she was. Not fully, but I have both perspectives. But I want to hear from you as you were her mother. And I want, you know, to know about her. Which I think was very respectful. It's like, I don't want to say anything bad. Again, as you said, it's like, it's like she is still your daughter. So, you know, respectfully, it's like, I've heard these things. They're not great, but I've heard some other things that were better. But can you tell me, like, your perspective? Can you tell me who she was, what she was like? And it was, honestly, as awkward as it was very wholesome, and I loved it.
It also had my Make It Sassy moment for the week, where Obrecht says to Rocco, well, who did you hear these good things from? And he says, well, Jason. And she says, even though he's brain damaged, he still has good sense or good judgment, however she put it. I was like,
you were like, wow! That's a thing.
It's a thing.
But she was
lovely. I was so happy because, you know me, I've been calling for her to come back for a while, wondering where she is. So we're gonna check that off the list because
please do.
Yep.
And then after Rocco went off to work, Obrecht went over to obviously the Metrocourt, but she went to Crimson specifically, and Nina isn't really paying attention. And so Obrecht says something, and again, I don't know what she said, but Nina turns around, she's like, Aunt Liesel! And of course, big hug, they're talking, and then enters Willow. Mm-hmm. She's like, because basically Obrecht's like, what mess have you gotten yourself into that I need to clean up? Basically. And so Willow shows up because she overhears Obrecht say, like, your daughter's life is falling apart or whatever.
Yep.
And so they have a conversation, and Obrecht is asking Willow questions and trying to understand how, after she left, after saving Willow's life, how she ends up divorced, losing her kids, and everything. And so Willow's trying to explain, and she's like, but that doesn't make sense. Maybe if you hadn't moved in to, your boyfriend's house so quick while your husband was in Germany getting treatment.
Woo-wee.
Maybe, that wouldn't have been so bad, and yada yada. And she's like, oh, so you were impatient is what I'm understanding. And just the sass in that entire moment was crazy. Mm-hmm. But then Willow said something along the lines of Sasha and the baby. And then Nina's like, oh, that won't be...
Yeah, that's not an issue. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, that's not an issue. And Willow was kind of like, what do you mean? In which Nina explained that Sasha and Daisy left, I'll say semi-permanently, because we're not sure if she'll come back, but it's also, for the time being.
But Nina just said they left town.
They left town. It's not likely they're going to come back, and if not, anytime soon. And Willow...
could not.
Willow did not look at her mother nor at her Aunt Liesel. She looked off to the side,
but she spun. She started to spin, but she didn't spin fast enough.
A smile creeped up on her face quick, and then she put it down, and then moved to a side table to get some water, and you could just see the looks. Obrecht had a look of, that ain't right. Nina had a kind of look of,
did I see what I think I saw?
And you could just see in the background, each of them giving each other looks as they look at Willow, being like,
Mm-hmm.
Then they talk a little bit more, and then Willow leaves. And after Willow leaves, Obrecht closes that office door so freaking hard and says to Nina, something is wrong with that child. And Nina looks at her like, what the? And I'm like, yes, Obrecht, call that out.
I had to clap for that. Come on, Obrecht said it straight.
I had to back it up because it's like, yes, Obrecht, this is why we needed you back, because you don't suffer no damn fools.
Liesel, man, set that straight.
Amen. And so when Nina's like, no, nothing's wrong. And she's like, Nina, are you blind or are you like...
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
One of my favorite sayings, are you an idiot or are you an ass?
Right? It's like, your child just smiled after you told her that the woman and her child just left the country. Mm-hmm. There's something wrong. She's not the same woman I saved. And Nina's like, of course she's not. It's like, right, but yes, we know she's not the same, but it's on a whole different level.
Yeah, it's like, Nina,
it's like something
stop.
Is not...
Mm-hmm.
Something up here is not right compared to something's not right here.
They can't see where you're pointing.
Sorry, something is not right in her head compared to something not right in her heart.
Yep.
It's like, yes, something is not right in her heart because she lost her children. She is so devastated. She's trying to get back to who she was. But something is not right in her head because she is happy that a woman had to run off with her child because she thinks that the child is being targeted when she knows that she's the one targeting the child.
Okay, but Obrecht don't know that.
No, obviously Obrecht doesn't know that. But we all know that is the case. And that is why Willow is happy-go-lucky that Sasha's gone.
Oh, absolutely.
Because she's basically like, I did my job. I got her out of the picture.
And when Obrecht's asking the questions, because we all know, if we've seen Obrecht before, Obrecht never pulls punches.
No.
Right? Even as Obrecht was all twisted up over Faison, she knew that she was not making rational decisions being twisted up over Faison. And so she's like, So, exactly as you said, when you decided to do this, knowing that this was the circumstance, you didn't think that would be a problem? No. And because Obrecht made it very clear, yes, I'm across the world, but I've been paying very close attention to what is happening here.
In my family.
Right?
She's like, as the matriarch, I need to know. Which, I'm like, she kind of is.
She is.
Well, I say kind of because I'm not really including Maxie in them, even though she is part of Maxie's family because of James. But for the most part, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. She is the equivalent of Tracy in that family.
Yes.
Absolutely. And it's like, no.
And
so
like,
I want to see how fast.
Now I think about it, it's like, you are right. She is the equivalent of Tracy because Tracy don't suffer no fools and neither does Obrecht. She will call you out of your BS.
Absolutely.
And what I like
Obrecht is going to set things straight quick, fast. I'm looking to see that.
Ooh.
Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure she does not know that Nina and Drew slept together. Because,
no, she does not.
Right? Because that didn't really make it. But the video went online, so maybe Obrecht does know that. The video of Cody and Drew in the bar and the punch out. Well, how did Tracy get it? Oh, the PI was there. Right.
But anyone else recording was paid off not to and delete it.
And as I mentioned that video, we should mention very quickly that Tracy used that video
to blackmail Nina
into sandbagging
Sunny.
Sunny in the paper.
And Nina has given Sunny warning. It's like,
well, she tried to, but he didn't pick up. And then
yes, and then she told him the next day. It's like, this is a situation. I'm being blackmailed by Tracy, but it pained me to say these things about the article. Also,
which
this is only
right,
and also this is only the first half. The second half is about your mental state.
Yeah.
So Sunny has all the fair warning in that.
That's right. Okay, so thank you for reminding me about the PI.
Right. But back to Obrecht and Nina's case, Obrecht is very aware that they need to get Willow away from Drew as the bad influence, and Obrecht's like, we need to find that skeleton in his walk-in closet, as she said, to break them apart. And clearly Nina knows what that skeleton is. The question is, will she tell Obrecht?
And something else Obrecht said was, basically, it doesn't matter if Willow likes you, loves you, wants to talk to you.
Right.
As a mother, you need to keep your kids safe.
Right.
So whatever it is that you need to do, you break her heart, then so be it.
And what I also like that she pointed out is she said, you came to motherhood late. So what you want to do is you want to be there and protect her and not hurt her, compared to, again, you got to hurt their feelings, but, you need to do what you need to do to protect them.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's the same. It was the same with me and Britt. It's like, with Britt, I saw the good, the bad, and the ugly, and she did the same with me. But that didn't change that we loved each other.
Yep. You need to love your daughter enough to mash her up.
Right? And Nina said, she's like, and the fear of losing Willow is that driving force. It is there every day. It's the thing behind what she does. Mm-hmm. But it's like, yes, you're afraid to lose them. But if you believe in your relationship with them and you trust that, your relationship is strong enough to weather this, regardless of whether they're upset and that they'll come back, it's like, you will tell them the truth and you will risk that hurt, that pain, that loss of them deciding to, put you out of their life for a time.
Yep.
To deal with the information that they've been told. And when they're ready to talk about and reconcile with that, they will come back to you. Because how many times have you said something that hurt Willow, and here she is telling you that she loves you and that she couldn't have done all this stuff without you? Yep. So it's like, Nina, if you manage to, harass her when she was, or if you managed to harass her when she was Charlotte's teacher and she couldn't stand you, if you managed to find out that she was your daughter and she couldn't stand you, and you still
built this relationship,
if you managed to fight her for visitation of Wiley and you are still in this place, I think you can tell her that you slept with her fiance before before they were ever together, but he was still kind of pursuing her. I think at some point she will get back to where this relationship is.
At some point.
Oh, and if you manage to throw Carly and Drew under the bus for, insider trading, I think, and she can still come back to you, I think you guys can have a relationship after telling her this.
It'll be interesting. Because I that one's a hard one, right? Because it's like the two people closest, right? Yes, it's before you, but really, what woman wants to be lying with a man who's been lying with her mother? I don't know any woman who's down for that.
No.
But anyway.
It's like, this is not my books, because in the books it's different. But
okay.
The last thing that we love, as we have about 5 minutes left.
Let's go.
Okay, so after Jason has dropped off Sasha with her father...
Oh, we're back there? Okay, go on.
Because...
Right. Oh, I see where you're going.
So after Jason dropped off Sasha with her father, he's going back to the airport. Now, around this time, Vaughn and and Jocelyn were talking about the trade-off and figuring out where my girl's gonna go, and she was headed towards Paris. So Jason is in the airport and
in Paris.
So this kind of threw me off because I'm like, how my girl get to Paris already? Yada yada yada. But whatever. But my mom's like, ladies and gentlemen, this is the flight, whatever, to Croatia. And so there's Jason on his phone doing what he needs to do, and then you just see a woman in an orange dress chips to the gate, and Jason's kind of like, hold up,
the scent of a woman.
That's my mom says, the scent of a woman. Me, I'm like, oh, I know who that is. And then Jason looks up and over, and you just see, again, nice womanly figure, short brown hair, kind of see the side profile of her face, but not much.
So we know it's not the person that left Port Charles because she had curly, dirty blonde hair.
And it was in a darker red dress.
Yep.
And we're like, oh. And then Jason's like, is that? No, it can't be. A little bit more of the side profile. Confirmation. Kelly Thibodeau. Thibault. Thank you. Kelly Thibault, possibly as Brit, has walked through the gate to Croatia in the Paris airport in front of Jason. And Jason is standing there staring at her back. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I seen a ghost.
Yep. Kelly Thibault is in the building.
Woo! And I'm like, that is the way to end of Friday, with the mother cussing out the niece and the daughter on a plane. That is the way to end of Friday, because let me tell y'all, after the episode, I shrieked because I was so excited. I'm like, oh, this is not November sweeps, but it's gonna be good.
Indeed. All right.
I hope she's on her way to Port Charles.
Let's wrap it up.
All right.
Do you have a make it make sense? Because I think that's the one category we did not talk about.
No.
Or one of. Okay. Hero of the week.
Obrecht. Because she's the hero that Nina needs. She's the hero that Willow needs.
Yep. Hasn't really done anything, but she's just coming in straight talking. I'm for it.
Oh, and lastly, that I did not mention, after Willow finds out about Sasha leaving, she calls Michael to plead, and she's like, now that you know what it's like to lose a child. Like, you really think that's going to make the man want to compromise?
Right? Is there still no room to compromise?
That's what had me hot. That she called and it's like, now that you know what it's like, as if you're telling Michael, by the way, I'm the one that's been traumatizing Sasha and Daisy and taking her away so you guys freak out. If that's not a confession, I don't know what is. But anyway.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what had me hot. My hero is Obrecht. My villain will forever be Drew and Willow right now, just because you're messing with children and now you're trying to get Michael to make it look like he's a drug addict.
Okay.
So Curtis, please tell Michael that one so he's prepared for any and all.
Yeah, I'm sure they will tell Michael.
This for me, I hope if Curtis does, and I hope he does, Michael plans to be like, you know what? I will take my treatment to a different hospital, but I will make it seem like I'm going to General Hospital for said treatments to make it seem like that's where I'm going. And so when we go to court, Drew is like, what the hell happened?
Oh, agree.
So
yeah, they're going to work around that. They're going to work around that.
That's my hope.
Yeah, so I agree that Obrecht is hero, but I also want to add Lucas.
Oh, for, talking some sense, or trying to talk some sense into the peoples?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and it's like, listen, that's my man. You gotta, whatever. Mm-hmm. So doing his best to save his partner.
Yep.
And conversely, villain of the week, I want to put Sidwell for trying to flip the switch and make it Lucas's responsibility.
That is understandable.
All right. Anything else? We didn't really talk about Delulu so much, but
Delulu is Willow, because like, you really think your ex-husband's going to compromise after losing his child and whatever. Delulu is also Drew, thinking he's going to have Portia do what she's going to do. Like,
yeah, I think that was a little bit delusional. I'm going to put Lulu in there as well, because, you use this information to get an in with Gio. No, boss. No,
that's not okay. That's not how you start a relationship with someone who doesn't want a relationship with you.
No, agreed. Okay, so I think that wraps it up for this week, doesn't it?
I think so.
Okay, so why don't y'all come back next week? We're going to talk about the goings-ons. It looks like there's some interesting things coming up.
Yep, for sure.
So next week we will have a little more soaps.
And a hell of a lot more sex.
Have a great week, y'all.
Bye!